This is the Matrixx App with John Matrixx. Pop culture, news, and reviews. Buckle up for the ride. Here is John Matrixx.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back. It's been such a long time since we actually put out an episode of the Matrixx podcast, and we're going to start it back up again. But this time, I actually have a special guest joining the podcast. My wife is here. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah, also, we have our dog here too, by the way, because our dog is super attached and she has to be a part of the show, right?
Yes.
Well, why is that? I have no idea.
Well, she's part of the family. So.
Yeah, she is part of the family. I mean, she's a good girl, guys, but she is quite bad, by the way. She is very naughty.
Well, when she's good, she's very good.
Which is about 2% of the time?
Let's say 5.
5% of the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys all know about me. You guys probably have never actually heard my wife on anything before. This is the first time you've actually been recorded on anything.
Yes.
You've never been on the podcast. So are you excited or are you a little nervous or what?
Nervous.
Nervous. Okay. Well, at least the camera's not on. This is not going to be a video podcast. It's just going to be audio. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. Plus, our little dog is here to protect you, right?
Yes.
She's cute, guys. She's a little Chihuahua terrier mix. She's quiet right now. But I'm pretty sure she'll probably end up interrupting the podcast because this is what she's gonna do. So, but what are we really gonna be talking about? I guess we can, talk about this whole China thing. China, Hollywood. Why are all these corporations? They keep bending the knee and sucking up to China. And by the way, folks, my wife is not from China. She was born in Hong Kong, right? Which is not China. I'm pretty sure she wants to clarify that, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what makes Hong Kong people different from people in China?
Well, it was, British rule, and it just everything is, within the British system, and so people living in Hong Kong are very lucky than living in China, and
not so much now.
No. But
China has violated the agreement that they made with Great Britain.
Yes.
50 years of basically Hong Kong autonomy. And
yes.
It's not happening.
Nope.
They have been regulating freedoms for the people of Hong Kong for years now. And the protests have been going on over there. And the people of Hong Kong, I believe, have had enough, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't blame them, though.
I don't know. What can we do?
Well, there's nothing that we can do as far as Americans. I mean, that's a problem right there because technically China has the right to, what's the word I'm even looking for? Govern, but they're supposed to respect the system put in place in Hong Kong, but they're not doing it.
Yeah. I remember, I think I heard Trump step in when he was the president and sign an agreement, he basically stood up for Hong Kong, but I don't know about now after Biden.
Well, I don't even know about the agreement. I mean, there's really nothing any U.S. president can do about that.
Well,
nothing
not
at all.
now.
Yeah, nothing at all, really. I mean, I don't know about that. I'll have to look into that. I haven't heard about that really. So, but it's kind of crazy though. All these corporations like Walt Disney, Walt Disney makes they own Star Wars, they own the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and a lot of their actors are pretty woke. You know, if you don't agree with their agenda, then they're gonna actually call you some kind of a racist or whatever. If you don't want to see two guys kiss on screen, like this new movie they have coming out, The Eternals, based on the comic books. They done a lot of race and gender swapping. They made one of the characters gay. And we know when it's released out here in the US, they're going to show that gay scene and they're going to call you racist if you don't agree with it. But when it comes to China, they're going to edit that out because the CCP regulates all that. And they know they got to do it.
Yeah.
It's hypocritical, man. It's completely hypocritical. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the American corporation needs to get away from China. And I mean, America can be like, be powerful again. But
I think China's laughing at us now.
under Biden, yes.
Yeah, they're laughing at us.
Yeah.
He's a puppet of China. You know, that's the reason why Chris Salcedo calls him Beijing Biden. He's soft and he's weak on China. Plus, it seems like his family is actually compromised about China because his son has business interests in China and they probably were taking payoffs from the CCP.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just pretty weak, if you ask me. I've never been a fan of communists at all. I never have. I feel bad for those people out there in Hong Kong that have to put up with the CCP.
Yeah.
They don't respect people in Hong Kong.
No, they also want to, take over Taiwan.
Yeah, they actually think that Taiwan belongs to China. When Taiwan is Taiwan, they have their own democratic system over there. They have their own president, just like we do here.
Yeah, they have their own military and stuff.
Right. They're their own country. That's what they are.
Yeah.
But the problem is China wants to dominate. They're modern day Nazis.
Yeah, I don't know later on if China want to take over, Korea, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore.
Well, they're allies with North Korea. So,
well, South Korea is not.
South Korea and North Korea, I think that's an interesting relationship. Because North Korea, they're pretty isolated from the rest of the world. That's a regime, that's run by Kim Jong-un right there. But pretty much the only ally is China. I find it very interesting, that North Korea is aligned with China and China supports North Korea. Both of the human rights violations on China. China has some of the worst human rights violations that we haven't seen since you got to go back to Nazi Germany. What do you think of those concentration camps that China is running out there with the Uyghur Muslims?
They are just like what Hitler was doing to the Jew.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Of course, they want to call it re-education camps, but I'm pretty sure you would agree. They're concentration camps. There's no other way to put it. They're concentration camps.
Yeah.
And you know what they're doing to the women? Have you heard what they're doing to the women?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, they're sterilizing the women to keep them from being impregnated so their bloodline can die off because they believe in ethnic cleansing. Very similar to the Nazis. What Hitler did. Yeah, exactly. But I find it interesting that all these corporations, man, they continue to never want to say one bad thing about China. And I don't know if you saw the video I put up on the Entertainment Channel. An actor now, John Cena, who was a wrestler. I don't know if you heard of him or not. He's actually saying that he actually apologized to China because he called Taiwan a country. Because he made this movie, Fast and Furious 9. It's going to be premiered, he said, in Taiwan. He said the country of Taiwan. And then China wasn't happy with that.
Yeah, but Taiwan has been a country for a long time.
You know that. I know that. But to China, Taiwan is an illegitimate government. You know, just like we over here, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people want Hong Kong to be free. I'm pretty sure people here also don't want Taiwan to be tied to China. They have no authority over there. But the CCP, man, the Chinese Communist Party, you can't cross them. And that's a problem. But he apologized, and he speaks fluent Mandarin. Fluent. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually moved over there because he speaks Mandarin so well. He probably speaks Mandarin better now than he does English, even though he was born here. But if you look at John Cena, he's what I would call he's buffed up, a lot of muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a big, fake, tough guy. Because when it came down to it with China, what did he do? He bent the knee, bent over, and took it from China. Why do these American people do this? This is communism. Why did you and your family actually leave after the Hong Kong turnover to China? Why did you leave? Even though you guys are already American citizens, but still.
Well, just didn't know what would happen, you know. So we just came back.
But it's safe to say that you guys are not a fan of the communists over there.
No.
Yeah, I kind of figured that too. Most people aren't, man. Most people are not fans. And and you know who's actually standing up to the CCP over there? It's a lot of college students.
Yeah, it's just funny to me where a lot of young people in America don't stand up for America, but, you know.
Well, a lot of the young people are being indoctrinated. I'm glad you brought that up. They seem to be indoctrinated by the Marxist philosophy over here. They love communism. And I said it before, the people that want communism here are the people that have never experienced it. Never have.
Well, my brother and I were lucky that we never experienced it too, but we heard about it, and there's a lot of people from China. They, you know, swim over to Hong Kong, especially during the Cultural Revolution, and some didn't want to carry the red pocketbook, but
oh yeah, Chairman Mao's a good old red pocketbook.
Yeah, but some they, you know, after, you know, they swim over to China and they introduced the red pocketbook, and the people of Hong Kong didn't buy that, and we did have a conflict in Hong Kong, like during the British rule, and it was like violent, but
really, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it was like in the 19 something, and it was brutal, but yeah, but the people of Hong Kong and the British, you know, they work together and fight back.
Yeah. One thing that I found interesting about the protests, the people of Hong Kong, they relate to the United States. A lot of those people over there in Hong Kong, of course, you would know, they speak English. A lot of the people in Hong Kong do speak English, and I saw like the younger kids speaking English, and they're carrying American flags. It's funny that young Hong Kongers who aren't American citizens seem to be more patriotic than these radical Marxists that are American citizens over here. They want freedom. And they respect this country more than the Marxists do over here.
Yeah, one thing I don't figure out that the young people in America are supposed to, be proud to be Americans. Especially, they're born here.
Well, yeah, they're being indoctrinated by the far left over here that America is so racist.
It's not.
It's not.
Of course, there's like races in America. There's some racist people, but there's also racist people around the world.
There's racist people around the world. You're right. And then one thing that they also do, they say this country was built on slavery. However, that's not necessarily true. And also, pretty much every civilization, including Native Americans, man, because, leftists, they love to say, oh, Native Americans was oppressed. Native Americans had slaves too. And Native Americans were the last ones to actually abolish slavery in this country, even after the Civil War. China, throughout their history, they had slaves. There were slaves in ancient Rome, ancient Greece, Africa, China. We're all descended from probably some slaves, Yeah. It just makes sense. So for the crazy leftists over here to say that this country is systemically racist, but I said it before, man. Democrats are controlling everything. Hollywood, entertainment, big businesses, big tech, the government. What are they changing? They're changing nothing. You want to know my theory on this?
What?
My theory is the Democrats want to maintain their power. How do they do that? They do absolutely nothing. They keep their supposed oppressive system in place so they can always tell people you're being oppressed and you need to vote for us. That's why they want illegals to come over here too. Especially you, for example. You came over here as an illegal immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of all of these illegal aliens coming across the border as a person that came over here legally?
I think it's an insult.
Big time insult, I would think, Do
you have to, wait, take the test, how much money we have, and.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it takes 7 years. 7 years, I think, yeah. So 7 years. But yet you got illegals that want to jump the line. And Joe Biden seems to be perfectly okay with that because Democrats want a new voting class. They want a new class to basically, say you guys are being oppressed. So, they try to do that with black people. Now they just want to replace black people because some kind of crazy way, black people keep voting Democrat at like a 90% clip for the most part. So Democrats got them on lock. Asians, not so much. I believe it's like 60-40 with Asians, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number either, but I think it's something like that though. Hispanics, I want to say they're roughly split in the middle, but illegals, I found this out. Illegals or immigrants, they usually vote Democrat. So they want these people over here.
I didn't.
Yeah. Were you into politics per se when you became a citizen? I wasn't.
I wasn't, but my dad was always a Republican.
Oh, really? He was a conservative?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really get into it too much. I didn't really know the policies. Back when I first started voting, I didn't know anything. I was 19 years old when I started voting. And I didn't know the policies. I just went and voted. And I feel pretty dumb because I didn't know any policies. I believe that's probably the average voter, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the average voter really knows what anybody's really standing on. I really don't. That's kind of sad. That's kind of scary in a way, huh?
Yeah.
That you got a bunch of people going out to vote, but you don't know, they don't actually know the policies they're voting for or the person's policies. Like Joe Biden apparently got 81 million votes, a record. I don't know how. I find it very, very hard to believe that 81 million people voted for Joe Biden. 81 million. More than Barack Obama, who was much more popular than Joe Biden. Because think of this. Have you listened to Biden speak lately?
Not really.
Don't worry. Nobody is. He finally gave his speech to the joint Congress. Nobody watched. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that it was way down from Trump's fourth speech to the joint Congress. He can't speak, man. He keeps bumbling. Do you think he has dementia?
I don't know, but what I know is that he shouldn't be American president.
I think a lot of people agree with that.
I mean, Trump is a better president. Of course, he might say something that, offensive, but he, he's a good president because, even though for people who were not born in America but came here illegally, could see that Trump is trying to make America and Americans, to make Americans, America to, a better place for Americans, and I mean, it's reasonable where he put, Americans first and American first. I mean, it's logical because they are Americans, and even
he was the first president I can think of in a long time that actually put Americans first.
Yes, even in other countries, they would do that first. And when I, look at the Bible, well, I'm not real good in the, everything in the Bible, but
that's all right. Joe Biden is a fake Catholic, so
no, but in the Solomon, he's like the wisest king. Like in the beginning, he did protect, people, the Israelites,
right.
And he, provide what is good for the Israelites and for people who, I guess, went to immigrate to Israel, and
Yeah. Man, Joe went for quite a ride. I think with Joe Biden, and that's 3.5 years. 2024 can't get here fast enough, for the next election cycle. I think that Trump is going to run again. I do. I believe he's going to run, but he can't announce anything right now because once you actually announce you're going to run, campaign finance law comes into play, and I'm not an expert in that. They start regulating finances, so he doesn't want to deal with that. But I think many people would be happy if he ran again in 2024, and Ron DeSantis, who's the governor of Florida, seems to be high on the list if Trump doesn't win. But also, if Trump does win, A lot of people want to see Trump and DeSantis, and I kind of agree with that. Ron DeSantis is killing it right now. He is so good. So good. But went for a long haul with Beijing Biden, then that's 3 years. A man that can't find his way out of a paper bag is that bad. It really is. Any other final words here before we wrap this show up?
I just think that, I mean, for what is happening right now, where the young people should wake up and see how, America is not a bad place to live. I mean, of course, there's racism and they're proud to be American and look down on other, ethnic group. But some Americans that I met, they're proud to be Americans.
Yeah.
But they also respect like other ethnic groups.
Yeah, well, Democrats are trying to push critical race theory in schools, which is absolute teaching racism sponsored by the state.
It really doesn't work. I mean, especially when they try to push critical race theory in the math class.
Yeah. I don't know if the listeners have actually heard, but let's say if you're a black kid and you get the math problem wrong, it's pretty much because of racism.
No, it's not. It's just there's only like one answer. Like, 1 + 1 is 2, and it's a universal language. And, and statistic, I graded statistic before, and there's a lot of, different formula getting from point A to point, C or D.
Yeah.
And
you're more into math than me.
Well, not really. I just, been doing that for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And, but yes, in statistic, you will have different answers to get from point A to point C or D, but the final answer will always be the same.
Yeah.
And it just, and when on Fox News, I think like one journalist say the manual of critical race theory that if the math answer has only one answer, it's racist or something like that.
But I thought like,
you can have multiple answer, and which is true, but the final answer will always be the same.
Yeah.
So, well, when I was young, I volunteered at American Court before, and I was, helping math, student from elementary to high school, and just helping teachers and and helping student in the computer class, their math game and stuff. And I met I met a lot of students from, different kind of culture, but one that stand out to me was she was Hispanic. And another one was, she's a black girl.
Okay.
And, at first they use calculator, just for elementary math,
Yeah.
And then, which was kind of strange to me. I mean, using calculator in that young age. I mean, I know that, nowadays, everything is computerized and stuff like that. But in elementary school, when I was young, we don't use calculator.
We didn't use calculators, I think, until Wow, I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
except when you go to higher math,
Probably high school, if that. I don't remember.
I use calculator on, trig and sometimes calculus.
I took trigonometry and I took pre-cal. Did I say pre-cal?
In statistics, you have to use calculator or else it will take forever.
Yeah.
But anyway, in at American Corp, and one time she was stuck with a problem, and she doesn't have a calculator and stuff, and I just sat down with her and just teach her how to step by step, and at first she was kind of frustrated, but later on, when she understand the concept, it was more easy for her to do any kind of math problems. And she's kind of very feel good about herself, getting the right answer without using the calculator.
Yeah.
And of course, I think she has, I met her parents at American Corp and they were pretty nice. So maybe some, how parents, how they were raised have an effect on, how they do in school and stuff like that. But mostly it's also how use different math strategy to teach kids, how to get them interested in math.
I was never a math fan. I was never a math fan, but kind of funny considering my degrees in finance. And I had to take upper level math.
Yeah.
High school, I did not like it, but I was smart enough to take trigonometry.
Well, you did ask me some finance math. But
yeah.
It's finance math is boring for me, but it's okay for you.
Yeah, it's okay.
You like economics, so.
Yeah, I do like economics. And if you ever went for a PhD in economics, you got to know calculus. So high level math right there. So.
Yes, I grade economic in graduate school, and it's not that fun for me. I rather grade statistics.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it doesn't need critical race theory to be in the math class, because all you need is that a math is not oppressed.
No, it's not.
It's just teacher, well, at least good teacher, need to teach them step by step to do math and teach them how to, get the answer. The simple thing of doing math is to learn the concept. Once you learn the concept, you can do any kind of math.
Yeah. You should be teaching critical race theory in a math class. That's pretty,
no, it doesn't work.
That's pretty ridiculous right there.
It doesn't work because math is universal language.
If you don't learn the basics stuff like math, reading, you're not going to make it in the world.
It'd be very difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah, you're right. Well, I think we're out of time now. I think we're going to wrap up this show. This was a good first episode, I believe, with a co-host, I believe. Well, we got a third host too. We got the dog. She's actually pretty quiet here, guys. So, but maybe next week she'll actually have something to say. Never know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's good. She's a very good girl. I love my family. It's so nice to have the family here in the studio recording a podcast. Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Make sure that you rate this podcast if you did like it. That's the only way that the show can actually grow. If you like what we do here, give a 5-star rating. That'll really, really help support the podcast. Until then, guys, we will talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to The Matrixx Hour with John Matrixx. Join us next time for pop culture, news, and reviews.